Hey guys, it's your boy Canales. It's your boy Canales with the first episode. Let me reposition the lamp so it won't be too bothersome. With the first episode of Canales' Crazy Comic Corner. I think that's how I'm going to call it. Apparently, some of my Twitter friends thought it was a good idea for me to tell you about some rare and obscure European and Spanish comics that I might like. So today I'm going to be telling you about this freaking masterpiece. I love the crap out of this comic, Requiem Vampire Knight by Pat Mills and Olivier Letois. You may remember Pat Mills. He's the co-creator of Judge Dredd. He created Slain, the British clone of Conan. You may have heard about the Horned God, drawn by Simon Bisley, painted more like. Olivier Letois is a veteran Belgian artist, comic artist, and he's at the top of his game in this comic. Pat Mills apparently... Ooh, my nails look dirty. That's an artist hand, fam. Anyway, I got confused. Pat Mills apparently finds himself more comfortable in the French-Belgian market because, he also wrote Punisher 2099 for Marvel Comics, a bunch more stuff. I think he also wrote something for DC. I think Metal Zoic. I don't know. But anyway, he seems to like the European French-Belgian model better, by which sorry, let me rephrase that. They only publish one of these volumes once a year. Because, as you can see, man, bro, check out that art. Holy shit, man. I mean, come on. I can do finger pulses too. Bro, well, not only the art is amazing, the story is also mind-blowing. Check this out. I mean, of course they can only make one of these a year. Come on, man. Look at the detail. Epic battles. So, but Canales, what about the story, you may ask? And I will answer to that. I'm glad you ask. The story is also insane. Requiem Vampire Knight tells the story of this guy, Heinrich Augsburg, hope I pronounced that right, who's no less than a Nazi soldier, a German Nazi soldier, who gets killed on the Russian front in 1945. And for his sins, he's sort of condemned, so to speak, to go to hell. He's damned to go to hell. Except it's not exactly hell. Well, it is hell to all intents and purposes, but they call it resurrection in this universe. Apparently, when you die and you've been a massive asshole in life, you are reborn in resurrection, and you proceed to be an even bigger asshole by some, karma and shit. Because this comic lets you know that life isn't fair. When you've been a big ass, the bigger the asshole where you were alive, the bigger the asshole you are when you go to resurrection. So, apparently serial killers and mass murderers become vampires in resurrection, and vampires are the elite. They are the ruling class in resurrection. The thieves and the looters, they become zombies, and so on. Rapists become centaurs, and fanatics become werewolves. It's insane. So yeah, it's the story about this guy, Heinrich Augsburg, who gets revamped. He gets rechristened, renamed as Requiem. Requiem. Did I say that right in English? Okay, yeah. Well, I say Requiem in Spanish, so bear with me. He's found by Otto von Todt, another Nazi soldier who instantly, gets like him because, hey, we're both Nazis. That's great. We both hate Jews, and it's awesome. Let's go partying together. And I'll introduce you to some friends, which happen to be among them this little fucker here. This is Sire Cryptus. He's the oldest vampire in Resurrection. Turns out time moves backwards in Resurrection. So the older you are, the more like a baby you become. So this guy is really funny. He's like this evil Chucky doll like baby who he's gone. They don't call it senile, they call it juvenile. He becomes more and more unhinged and evil because he's more like a baby as he gets older. So yeah, he gets initiated on the order of the Vampire Knights, and it's all fun and games when you're a vampire in Resurrection. You get to ride massive freaking brontosaur cities, bruh. Well, that's all I'm going to tell about the story, because even though it's the story of an asshole in a world of assholes, in which you're expected to be a terrible person and abuse your victims and stuff. Vampires have their designated victims, whatnot. It's really some really hardcore shit. I hope I don't get a copyright strike or anything, or a flag but yeah, zombie redheads, bro. Well, as I was saying, even though this is a story about an asshole, the story of an asshole on a world of assholes, it's actually a character piece. I recommend you read this comic at least twice, because once you get past the amazing art, once you regain your senses after being intoxicated by the detail, by the colors, you realize it's actually a character piece. It's a character-driven story. It's the story of Heinrich, whom, even though he's an asshole in a world of assholes again, he's trying for once to break the karmic cycle that somehow forces him to be a bad person, an asshole. Even though this is a perfect sample, because in Resurrection, vampires have all the rights. I mean, they can abuse people, but even then they have rules, And this guy, I think is Sire Mortis. He says, "Hey, I'm hungry. I'll just bite the shit out of this guy and drink this blood." And Heinrich goes, "No, we don't do that. We have rules. Even though we're terribly evil and we have ultimate power, even then we have rules, and you have to respect the rules. You have to uphold the law, And so Heinrich is trying to grasp, to not let go of that little nugget of humanity that he has left. And yeah, so that's pretty much his story. It's actually a redemption story, which is something that this comic is going to trigger our success warriors for several reasons. Not only because it's the redemption story of a Nazi soldier, but because it's also totally politically incorrect. I mean, you've seen the tits, right? Let me see if I can find the... Oh yeah, Ghoul Pirates, motherfucker. Maybe I can find the bit where we get introduced to Mother Venus. Bro, finger purse. I'm trying to be like Zack, like that boy, and I don't know if I can pull it. Anyway, if I think I shared it before on Twitter, I'll have my Twitter friends share it for me. One of these Ghoul Pirates, it's actually a feminist. One of the cool things about the Resurrection is that it exists outside the space-time continuum. It's like this eternal realm in which all times kind of merge. So, if someone dies in the future, they also go to Resurrection. Someone dies in the past, they go to Resurrection. Someone dies and they've been an asshole, they go to Resurrection. That's like their karmic punishment. And I don't know if it's this one. One of these pirate ghoul ladies is actually a feminist. He's actually stated to be a feminist, and he's the ruler of Venus, of planet Venus in their year 2021, whatever. And he's been sentenced to Resurrection for genociding the men on Venus. And it's a pretty open satire of feminist hypocrisy. Our friend Pat Mills, in case you haven't realized it yet, is a brilliant satirist. You know, Judge Dredd, man, Judge Dredd, and also martial law. Maybe one day I'll talk about martial law. But this guy's a brilliant satirist. He's a brilliant character. What's the word for these guys who, anyway, an artisan, so to speak. He's really good. He's really good. The story is insanely complex. It has bazillions of themes, and I think my artistic brother Artemis Worm from Twitter will enjoy the crap out of this comic, because it has everything. It's blood orgies, dark gods from the limbo. It's Dracula, dude. Mutants. Evil black metal version of the Thundercat sword of Omens. That's pretty much what it is, actually. Come on. I totally recommend this comic. It's a mind-blowing experience which only two masters such as Pat Mills and Olivier Letroy can provide. If you can get your hands on this baby, the good news for you English speakers is that it's being published by the heavy metal guys on an English version. I actually began collecting this in its French version, but luckily they're repackaging it and distributing it on English language. Sorry, I get all giddy when I look at this art and I can't focus. So if you can get your hands on this bad boy, Requiem, Vampire Knight by Pat Mills and Olivier Letroy, do so. It's a masterpiece. It's amazing. That said, I think that's all for tonight. Stay awesome, love you all, and turn to tracks.